Hey everyone, welcome back to Warcraft Brew. This is episode number 25. My name is Quissy.
And I'm Pasta Face.
This is going to be our only July episode. I mean, it's been a crazy month, and we want to apologize for the lack of content, I guess, in July. It's just been, I mean, from the start, has just been a very turbulent and busy month.
Right. Everything is okay. I just want to preface this with everything's okay, but just in terms of like my job, it was just nonstop for 2 weeks, and I feel like I was crying for a full week. Like, that's like how stressful and just the workload, how much it was. So unfortunately I had to take a step back. And just something that like people have pointed out in the past too, and it just like drives me nuts, is that whenever I go through like a really stressful time and I'm kind of on the rebound of that, I take a little bit longer to finish a sentence. I take a little bit to just kind of piece my thoughts together, and it might be super noticeable now, and that is an anxiety / stress thing. So thanks, I appreciate that. But yeah, I mean, like, and that just kind of goes, it pairs hand in hand too, of like, this is getting put out on the internet for like the rest of forever. So, you know, maybe it's okay that I take my time and, you know, just
take your time with it.
Figure out with what exactly I'm gonna say. But yeah, that's kind of been my life for the past month. We got access to the beta. We played it about once or twice.
A few times, yeah.
Yeah, a few times. I'm dying to play more, but hopefully now that, knock wood, things are dying down a little bit at work, that I could switch gears and shift focus to World of Warcraft.
Yeah, like I said, we were able to participate. There was a Shadowlands exclusive content release, which, we're wearing the t-shirts from the event.
I'm so thankful too. That was like another thing. Everyone was tweeting out like, "Oh, thank you Warcraft devs for the shirt."
For the t-shirts, and
I'm having my second mental breakdown of the day.
But yeah, we got our shirts, so we figured we'd wear them for the podcast. Show them off.
It's such a cool shirt, and I just love like the simplistic design that they're going for of all the covenants.
I'm not staring at your chest. I'm looking at the shirt.
Thank you, thank you for clarifying that. I really appreciate that.
For those of you who can't see, who are just listening to audio only, it's kind of like 4 panels of the covenants, the 4 covenants.
Yeah, the 4 covenants.
They kind of look like large, like brush strokes. I almost said breast strokes.
Wow.
Nice chest. Brush stroke. Okay. They look like 4, like, you know, kind of like thick brush strokes of different colors. The first one's gray, green, blue, and red. I don't know which covenant is which. Do you? Do you know which?
I kind of do. I just forget the names. I forget everything.
VENTHYR. Do you know which one is VENTHYR?
I have to do this opposite. This one.
The red?
Yeah,
okay. What about the Night Fae?
Is that a covenant? The blue.
Yeah, okay. And what are the other ones? Kyrian? Kyrian, right?
No, wait, that's Legion, right?
Kyrian Covenant?
The Kyrian Tour? Are you thinking of that?
No, Kyrian. No, it's not Kyrian. We said VENTHYR. I don't know. Yeah, see, this is why we gotta play more beta.
I know, dude. I'm stuck in that classic mindset.
We are. We've been playing a lot of classic, and you know, I feel like lately a lot of people, like, I see them tweeting out or just like talking to me on Discord, and they're like, yeah, I'm kind of bored of classic right now, and I totally understand that. It's kind of been like one of those long periods between content patches. So like the last big content patch we got was what, BWL, and that was in April.
Jeez.
I think. I'm pretty sure that was in April. So was it April or May? I think it was April. Gosh, I don't know. But it's been several months, and a lot of people are anticipating AQ, which is, well, the event starting next week, and I guess we'll dive deeper into that in a little bit.
Right.
But I could understand why people are kind of like feeling slow with Classic right now, maybe not much to do, just waiting for the next thing to happen. And that's totally understandable. Like I feel like that happens in retail as well.
So right, I was gonna comment that there is a pattern with just Blizzard World of Warcraft content in general. And you could see whenever there is a blip in retail, there's gonna be a dip in Classic content. Whenever there is a blip in Classic, there's going to be a dip in retail.
Oh wow, yeah, that's a really good point.
And I don't know, I do think it's just good branding altogether. It's just the World of Warcraft franchise, like as a whole, will always have a blip.
Yeah.
It's just the subsections of World of Warcraft that you'll notice, like, okay, Classic has a dip. Like that little subdivision of the World of Warcraft games, I guess.
No, you're absolutely right, because like I know people who are like all about Classic and they're like, yeah, I got beta access, so I'm playing the beta, or like, yeah, I've been playing BFA, I'm farming mounts and stuff. And it's cool. It's cool that there's still interest in both sides of the game, if you will, like the Classic version as well as the most recent version, BFA, Shadowlands, Beta.
Right. And it just kind of goes into my little theory of they do want that cross-pollination at some point.
Yeah.
So when there's a dip in one, there's the foot traffic will go towards the other. And I really think it's just kind of great marketing.
Yeah, it's smart, calculated, right?
All calculated, big brain moves.
Yeah,
from Blizzard.
It is interesting to see those people who are like all about Classic, and they're like, yeah, I was farming mounts the other day in retail, and I'm like, really? I'm not like angry or upset. I'm just like, I'm pleasantly surprised that that game also appeals to you.
So yeah, I kind of did that the other day. I took a break from Cabinas for a little while, and my
level 40.
Yeah, I just hit level 40 a couple days ago, but I took a break just to try to grind out the B mount in BFA, and
which you've been wanting for quite some time.
Yep, forever and a day. As soon as it was data mined, I was like, whatever it takes, I'm gonna get that mount.
Yeah.
And
no matter how long it takes.
Oh my god, it took so long, dude.
Oh my gosh.
But when I was struggling with work and whatnot, just slow grinding for a mount was just like the simple task that I needed. It was super chill. Like I had nice like little music, the chill live stream music on YouTube going on in the
lo-fi
background.
beats to study and relax to. Yeah.
I had that going on. I was just like going around just collecting honey, dude, and it was just
great.
The chillest thing. It was like the most relaxing, like really needed just a simple task, because anything else I would have liked. But correct me if I'm wrong, I think some of the devs said they were gonna in retail they were gonna try to step away from more grindy-esque tasks to do in World of Warcraft going into the future. I don't know who said that. I read that somewhere on WOWHEAD.
Okay.
Somebody mentioned that at some point. I don't know. Correct me in the comments.
So is it more grindy versus like having a daily task, and then once you're done with the daily task, then it's less grindy that way because it's a daily thing?
Yeah. I didn't know. Like I was kind of worried that's what they meant. It just, to me, the spirit of World of Warcraft is like, if I want to just no life grind out like a certain weapon or mount or whatever, like in 48 hours without sleeping or eating, that's my choice.
Yeah.
Don't take away that choice.
I'm an adult. I can make that decision.
Yeah. Let me be me. Where with the B mount, there were like some events, some daily events that you could either do once per day or once at the top of every hour, and that just that triggers me.
So there was a what is it called? A time gate is what people refer to.
Right. And
that's one thing I really like about Classic. Like if you want to, like you said, stay up for 48 hours grinding a reputation, you can. Like there's not really much that's stopping you. besides maybe like when you get to like a revered reputation with a certain faction, killing a certain mob will no longer give you reputation. Then you have to do like turn-ins. Like I'm thinking of like Argent Dawn, for example.
Right.
You get you get reputation for killing mobs in all the dungeons, like Stratholme and like Skolo, for example. And then I think it's when you hit revered, you no longer get XP from killing trash mobs. Look at the Frost Saber mount in Winterspring. If you want to no-life that for like 48 hours, you can. There's nothing stopping you, really. You just have to do the quest over and over and over again to get that reputation. That being said, with TBC possibly on the horizon, that's really where we get our first taste of dailies. And from what I remember, I really enjoyed being able to log in and have that to look forward to do my dailies for my reputation. Most recently, I think the last time I could recall kind of getting into a routine with that would be like Legion, I guess. For me personally. I know like in BFA you still have that where you could log in and
that was big.
Do your Legion. Dailies.
Right.
The world quests, I feel like, however, did throw a different, wrench into it compared to just the traditional daily quests. In TBC, like the first thing that comes to mind is the Isle of Quell Danas that was released in later patches. And that's where Magister's Terrace was, where we got our white Hawkstrider mounts,
right.
The Sunwell. That whole island was just like a hub for daily quests. And that was kind of time-gated in a way. You could only do like, I think it was like 5 dailies a day and then you were done. But I do like having that to look forward to. It's almost like a checklist. It's like, oh, let me do my my Isle of QD dailies, and then I'll get on with maybe doing a heroic. In Classic, you don't necessarily have that like checklist of like, oh, let me do my dailies in like Silithus, and then I'll do a heroic dungeon, which you can't in Classic either.
Right.
So I feel like I do enjoy both aspects of it, like having something to look forward to, and then you kind of get into a routine. You wake up first thing in the morning, you get your coffee and do your 4 or 5 daily quests, and then you're done, and then move on to something else.
I don't know why. I'm sorry. I don't want to expose you right now, but you told me that there was a point in your life where you stayed up to so you did dailies, and then you stayed up. You just remained awake and playing until the dailies
until they reset. Yeah, that was in TBC times. Yeah, I was like really badly addicted to the game in TBC. Like, I'm glad I could laugh about it now.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I don't mean to laugh.
No. We could laugh about it now. Yeah, I would stay up until like 8 in the morning, like playing all night, 8 in the morning. I'd go to sleep and then probably wake up around 5 p.m. That was like on Australian time.
Oh my God,
I could have moved to Australia with no jet lag. But I would stay up and like, I forgot when the dailies would reset. But they would reset and I'd be like, oh, I might as well do them. And then go to bed. But then you don't have them when you wake up. So it's a vicious cycle. But I really, really like TBC. Doing heroic dungeons are so much fun. And I love the system that you collect badges from, I don't remember if it's from every boss, because I haven't played TBC in forever. I know there's like a lot of private servers and stuff, but
who knows if they even got it right. I mean, I don't mean to call them out.
No,
you're
right, you're right.
But it's just same with Classic. They were just very tiny details that didn't match up.
Right. I don't remember how often you got the badges, but I remember you had to collect them and save up, and there was a heroic badge vendor, and they sold all this awesome epic loot. And I just remember like looking forward to like saving up my badges to be able to buy like this epic piece of loot at level 70, It's just, cool. It was so much fun. I really, really like TBC. But I feel like we're digressing a little bit.
Yeah, sorry.
So yeah, I guess there's like pros and cons to having content that is time gated. Like I said, in TBC, I liked being able to log in every day and do like my Isle of Quell Danas dailies and then be done for the day. But again, there is that, part of the player base. Part of the player base, right, thank you.
Part of those people
things that do want to just, grind things out for 48 hours and then just be done with it. So In a way, like some things in WoW do appeal to those people, and some do not. It's hard to find a nice balance, right?
Right.
You want to be able to appeal to as many people as possible to, get more people to play the game.
Absolutely. So that's definitely, I can see, with the Torghast Tower, how there's really kind of no limit to that, no time gate. It's just you could do that at your leisure. You could do as much or as little as you want. So I love that. I just don't want that to be the only grindable thing,
Yeah, and I'd be curious to hear what you guys think, listening out there. Like, do you guys like content that is kind of time gated, where you could only do like maybe 5 dailies a day, get a certain amount of reputation, and that in like 15 days from now I'll be exalted? Or would you prefer like non-time gated reputations and tasks where you could just grind it out however fast or slow that you want?
Hell yeah.
So yeah, I'd be curious to hear about that, because I do feel like there's pros and cons to both. Yeah. Anyway, let's see what's next on the list. So yeah, I mean, we usually talk about Classic first. I have it on my phone today, by the way. Just
we're saving on
I'm not
paper.
checking my text messages, you got
mid-episode.
I'm not bored. So Classic, just briefly, I guess I just want to talk about what we've been doing in Classic. And we have been playing a lot of HORDE. And we probably mentioned that in the past 2 episodes, how we made a guild. It's called Chill. It's on the Azure Song server. It's a West Coast server. But we have a guild there called Chill, and it is growing every day. And I'm just continually surprised at like how many people want to join and how many people are sticking around and actually leveling. And not only that, but just like a really awesome community we have going on there. Like everybody's constantly helping each other out. Whether it's something like sending somebody bags who just created a character there, or running somebody through low-level dungeons, helping out with elite quests. It's just happening within the guild. It's not like I'm like being like, hey, can you help this person? Or like I'm asking people to help others. Like it's just happening. And I feel like that's because that is kind of how the guild started out, like from day one. We all rolled on this server and we had nothing, no gold, and we really had to start from the ground up. So we just started helping each other, like, oh, who's a tailor? Okay, let me mail you my linen cloth so you can make me some 6-slot bags, And we just kind of like grew that way. And I love it. I think that is truly like a real authentic Classic experience where you just start from nothing and just slowly build your way up.
Hell yeah. That is the spirit of Classic for me. And I as much as I really wish that we went into the beginning of Classic like this. It happening now just makes me appreciate it even more. Yeah. Especially after everything that we went through at the beginning. So it's, I don't know, it's just really powerful. And I think Tuna was the one that pointed this out too, and he was like, if TBC comes out, we already have a HORDE guild. Yeah, because we were talking about if and when TBC comes out, how like everybody's going to want to make a blood elf, right? Like, let's be honest here. I know you want to make a blood elf too. So we'll already have like a HORDE, a HORDE base to make our blood elf, our legion of blood elves. Right. But yeah, I mean, it's just been like Tuna and Jive just recently joined. Tuna's mom joined the guild. So sweet. One of my best friends, IRL, Ray Taxcat, is in the guild. Duranosaur just joined. Like Denny, Jay the Bard, like so many people. I can't even like name everybody. Like it's just been so much fun. And I just want to thank you guys too for helping like create this experience for us with Classic. It's very revitalizing, and like a lot of times you'll see people they'll be like, Classic is so toxic. The Classic player base is really toxic. They're very like egotistical, very selfish in a way, and this has been like completely the opposite of that.
And I don't know if you want to comment a bit on that as well.
No,
how opposite. Yeah.
I definitely wanted to. I was just trying to suppress a burp.
Okay, no. Let it rip. Let it rip.
I didn't want to interrupt with a burp.
Well, thank you.
But yeah, I think we were talking about it earlier today where we were just kind of playing our chill characters, and, you know, we were talking about how we actually get to experience the content now.
Yeah, the zones.
Like actually enjoy the story and enjoy the quest lines without having to constantly like look over our shoulder, like this kind of menacing PvP presence.
Yeah, it's a PvE server, to clarify. It's been like such a complete experience being able to level on a PvE server. And I feel like there's such a stigma with PvE servers, sorry.
From the PvP.
From the PvP community, maybe. I don't know, PvP servers, but I feel like it's kind of like an edict thing, like a dick swinging thing. Like, oh, you're
helicopter dick,
like, oh, you're on a PvE server, pussy. You know, like you know, man up and play on a PvP server. What are you, a Care Bear? Like, who cares? Like, really? Like, who cares?
Let me enjoy the game the way I want to enjoy it. Like, really, you gotta impose yourself.
It is so much more enjoyable on a PvE server if you're looking for that, like, outside world experience where you can just kind of enjoy the zones.
Right.
Now, that being said, some people are meant to be on PvP servers. Some people love that. You know, red is dead.
Right.
If I see somebody in the opposite faction, I'm going for them. You know, and that's great. That's not for everybody though. And I think a lot of people feel pressured to play on PvP servers because they don't want to be called a Care Bear or, like, you know.
Amen.
You know, a lot of other names that I probably can't say. But you guys get the point, right?
I know. I was like, you said the P word. Do we have to bleep that out?
I know. I don't know. I think we're okay with the P word. Again, a lot of worse words I could use.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I just feel like if you are not having fun on a PvP server, you might want to reconsider. You know, there've been a lot of times where, like, we're leveling and we get ganked repeatedly and then corpse camped, and, like, you know, on one hand I'm like, oh, this is part of the game. You know, I'm on a PvP server. I'm not going to complain about it. But if you are going to complain about it, then maybe you should reconsider. Like, if you're not having fun, if you really want to be able to level out in the open world and do quests and not have to constantly worry about getting ganked, you should give it a try. You know, don't worry, you know, about being called a Care Bear, like I said. Right. There have just been so many zones that I really got to appreciate that I have not previously. Stranglethorn Vale.
That was a big one for me, dude.
You know what was mind-numbing or, like, eye-opening for me? Searing Gorge around Thorium Point.
Ooh.
Like, that's usually a war zone. Black Rock Mountain. I AFK'd in Black Rock Mountain the other day for like 10 minutes. It's great.
Hell yeah.
Just hanging out inside the mountain, looking at the dragons flying by and the lava. Don't gotta worry about getting killed every 2 seconds.
Yeah, what was it? The other day, I met someone in STV. I think I just hit 40, and I got the arena notification.
Did? Oh.
No, I wish.
Oh.
No, I got the arena notification. I'm like, all right, like, I'm new to the server. I know it's a PvE low pop server, but let me see, you know, what shit goes down here. So I go into the arena, and there's this one guy who's level 60, and I see him taking the chest. I'm like, ah, shit.
Yeah.
So, you know, I start walking away, and he's like, hey, like, I'm sorry I got it, but, you know, like, I could log on to a lower level, and we could just duel for the fun of it. I'm like, oh, okay, awesome. So he does, like, I wait for him, like, he comes in, we duel, you know, we have fun.
Really?
Yeah. And then he's like, okay, cool, like, I'll just give you, like, some gold. I'm like, okay, like, 6 gold. I'm like, oh,
what?
That's really sweet. Yeah, like, of course he logs on, like, a lower level character than I was, but, like, we still had, like, a lot of fun. And so it was a really sweet interaction. He was like, oh, like, I'm sorry I got it. Like, do you need it?
That's
like,
so
do you need
sweet.
gold? And I'm like,
oh my gosh.
Wow, okay. Like,
wow.
It was a really cool interaction.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. That's really, were you two were the only ones in the arena?
Yeah, we were the only ones.
And same faction, obviously, if you were
Yeah.
able to communicate.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So what class did he bring?
Oh God, I think. So he originally was there on a level 60 warrior.
Oh, okay.
And then he brought a shaman. I forget what level he was, but he was lower level than me. But we still had a lot of fun.
That's
or at
really
least
cute.
I did.
That's
Yeah.
a really nice story.
Yeah, right? It was just like a really sweet interaction.
Yeah, I feel like people on this server are just a lot more like low-key and relaxed.
Yeah.
Like I'm really used to this high-paced, fast environment where like everything's got to be fast and quick and like kill the bosses really, super super fast. I did a Skolo run just this morning, and it was me and KT, our druid tank, and we got 3 pugs. So we got another mage, we got a warrior, and the mage had ZG gear. The warrior didn't have any epics, but he had some like pre-raid bis. And then we got a resto shaman who is like full out epic
My God.
epic gear. And I was like, holy shit, this is great. We got a good healer. So we get in the run, and we got the quest to do the deeds and collecting the deeds in Skolo.
Gonna do the deed.
Doing the deed. And it's kind of like a little bit out of the way. Some of the deeds, you have to clear a few extra packs, but like nobody cared. Nobody was like, no, we gotta go. We gotta go fast. They were like, it was actually somebody the mage had already completed the deed quest who suggested we did it.
Wow.
Like I was gonna skip over it because I didn't want to ask them to like,
Right. It's a kind of a burden.
spend
a
extra
little bit.
time, but they
Yeah.
were like, yeah, let's do the deed quest for you guys. And I was like, this is so sweet. And then we get to like the main room where you can turn to kill Jandis, which killing Jandis is like another extra like 20 minutes because you have to clear all her trash as well. But the resto shaman actually wanted to kill Jandis.
Oh wow.
So we like took the extra time to go kill her, and like we just cleared the whole thing. Long story short, but it was a really great run, and like I think we wiped once on trash, and like nobody complained. Nobody was like,
Wow.
"Yo, what the fuck you doing?" Like.
Yeah, like healer, more heals.
Yeah, yeah. No, it was great. So I don't know if that was just like that certain group of people, but it was really pleasant.
Right.
Nobody was in a rush to like get in and get out.
Yeah, hell yeah. Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is a part of me that's like that server Azure Song is a realm.
Yeah, server.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is that part of the server where it's just like a natural just kind of way of life. But then I think there's a lot of things that happened recently within the Warcraft community that gave everyone a bit of a reality check, and I really do genuinely hope everyone is being a little bit, for lack of a better term, nicer,
Yeah.
more considerate,
Yeah.
and really willing to play,
Yeah.
as opposed to just being like that, that quick dick swinging.
Yeah, dick swing thing, and I think that goes back to the PvP mentality,
Right.
where like, oh, you're a pussy again if you're
Right.
playing on a PvE server. It's
Right.
like, no, I want to enjoy questing out in the open world.
Hell yeah.
If that makes me a pussy, then fine. I don't give a shit. Call me what you want, right? But I really enjoy it. So,
Hell yeah. Same here. Same here. It's definitely been an experience, and I truly hope TBC happens because I want to see where this guild is at that time. You know, how much it's grown. Have we done very big raids? Where are we going to be by that time?
Yeah, I mean, I already think we have a really solid core group. Especially now that Tuna and Jive are here.
Yeah,
like
I'm so excited
I
about
feel more
that.
complete when they're here.
Yeah,
Because
right?
we played with them on Grobulus and we had like a nice core going. So yeah, I want to keep that going. It's all about the people at the end of the day. I think that's what makes WoW, and it doesn't matter if you're playing Classic, it doesn't matter if you're playing BFA or Shadowlands. I truly think it's the community of people that you're playing with that really make the game. There have been expansions where like, wait, do you already know what I'm gonna say?
No, I mean I can only predict what you're gonna say. It's just,
yeah.
you know, there are expansions where you're like, holy shit, this is horrible.
Absolutely, and I feel like a lot of that was because I was like playing solo by myself, because a lot of my friends, like, they would like start at the beginning of a new expansion, get to max level, and then they'd quit like a month or two later. And then I would always be the last man standing, like playing by myself.
Aww.
And I gotta say, the game is like way more fun when you're playing with other people. Like
yeah.
Traditionally, what would you say, by popular, you know, opinion, what most people think is the worst expansion?
WOD.
WOD. Yeah. People would say WOD, right?
WOD or BFA.
WOD or BFA. Yeah. But I mean, if we're playing, like, say the group of people that we're playing chill with, if I was playing WOD with them, or if I was playing BFA with them, I would probably be having a blast.
Right.
Because it's all about like again, that sense of community, helping each other out, and like seeing progression too. Like, you get excited when your friend gets an upgraded weapon, or like their pre-raid bis,
Right.
things like that. So
Oh yeah.
I could go on like this for a long time, so I guess we should move on. But I hope that gets the point across. You know, I think there is like a stigma with typical classic players, and that's just not the experience we're having on our HORDE server.
Just
so
long story short, don't be an asshole.
yeah, don't be an asshole.
Just don't. Just stop. Get some help.
Mm-hmm. And that being said, you know, our guild is open to anybody who wants to join. Again, as long as you're not a toxic asshole.
Just be chill.
I have no problem G-kicking you if you are. But yeah, you know, we are always looking for more people to join our community. It's welcoming, warm, everybody's helping each other out, and we're all kind of working towards a common goal where, like, we want to be able to raid ZG, you know, or maybe raid Molten Core one day, or BWL if we get enough people.
Right.
We'll see. But speaking of raiding,
hell yeah.
there's new content coming out in Classic next week. And that is the start of the AQ War Effort. So for those of you who aren't aware, it's either July 28th or 29th, depending on what region you're in. Basically, whenever the weekly reset happens, that's when the content is being implemented. So what does that mean? That doesn't mean that AQ20 and AQ40 are going to be available right away.
Right.
Like, you can't just log in and then zone in right away.
You gotta earn it.
You gotta earn it. And that is through the AQ War Effort, as well as the Scarab of the Shifting Sands questline, Ringing the Gong, and everything like that. I'm not going to go into detail on how those are completed, because there are thousands of guides out there that
Right.
tell you how to do it, but just basically know that, you know, in case you were confused, you can't go into AQ20 and 40 right away. The war effort needs to be completed in order to do so. And the speed at which the war effort is completed will vary based on the server. So, you know, like super high pop servers, well, maybe those guilds can control better when they want to open the gates, versus like a super low pop server where people got to start gathering those materials. and it might take a little bit longer, but it'll be interesting to see. The devs, I think, were very diligent about testing it. We had a few stress tests in Silithus. What's it called? Doing like a mock gate opening, and it was pretty laggy. It reminded me of when the classic stress tests were live. Remember, like in Goldshire, where you couldn't move, and then they summoned all these bosses?
The giant Omar.
Yeah, oh my god, that was
He
great.
shoots up into the sky.
That was so good. Yeah, it reminded me of that. It was a lot of fun, but I just read on WOWHEAD, the devs released, you know, more like another blue post, like kind of detailing what to expect
Right.
in Silithus, and it looks like they're going to cap the amount of players that could be in the zone at a time.
Oh, interesting.
Prioritizing level 60s. So I think that's great, because people might make like armies of level 1s to just like spam the zone and like troll. So
Oh, you know that was gonna happen.
yeah,
You
so
know it.
I think that's great. So if people, if Silithus is reaching its cap, they're going to start with level 1s by porting them out. and there's designated like areas where they're gonna get ported to.
Oh, okay, cool. That was my next question of like, is there just like a wall, like you can't enter the zone, or as soon as you enter, like, do you get ported somewhere?
I don't know. Maybe, yeah, I'm not sure.
So yeah. My question is, and if anyone already has the answer, please comment below. So let's say you are entering into a already capped zone.
Yeah.
Where do you go?
Maybe, have you ever like tried to zone into an instance that's full and it says like instance is full, you can't join or something like that?
Yeah, okay.
Maybe it'll have something like that.
Oh.
Or you'll either zone in and it'll give you like a warning message like this zone is full, you are being teleported in 10 seconds. So we'll see. But it'll also, you know, if all the level 1s are out and there's still too many people, they will also port level 60s as well to nearby surrounding zones. However, there was a note that if you are carrying the Scepter of the Shifting Sands, you will never get ported out. So
cool.
You get prio on that.
Nice.
Smart.
Hell yeah, big brain right there.
So that'll hopefully, you know, help control some of the
potential bullshittery that's gonna happen. Cause y'all know some motherfucking bullshit's gonna happen.
Well, we'll see. It's going to be very, very interesting to say the least. So, keep an eye out for that, guys. But also on Tuesday, we're getting a lot more than just the war effort starting. We're getting a lot of new dungeon loot. For example, the tier 0.5 quest lines are going to become available. Are you familiar with that?
No, I am not.
So, do you know the dungeon sets like Shadowcraft for Rogue
Right.
and like what do you Elements for Shaman? It's the blue dungeon set.
Right.
If you have those pieces already, you'll be able to upgrade them by following a quest line in either Orgrimmar for Horde or Ironforge for Alliance. I think like a few of them are actually can turn into epic pieces. So, it's a cool quest line to do. Part of that as well is that you get the ability to summon bosses as like part of the quest line. So like one of them is in like the Beast's room in Upper Blackrock Spire. So after you kill the beast, you're in the room and you have this like beacon or whatever, and you summon it, and then a boss appears. And those summonable tier 0.5 bosses also have a chance to drop new loot, which is cool. And I do believe if you complete the quest line, you get to keep that summoning beacon, so that every time you're in that instance, you could summon the boss for loot. And the reason I know all this is because I was updating WOWHEAD guides, so I did my work, I guess. But one of the sets that's coming out is the Ironweave set, which is a set. It reminds me of the Necropile set in a way. It's a cloth armor set, but it's only for mages, warlocks, and priests. And the people were wondering, I guess, when that was coming out. So the Ironweave set is coming out soon.
Hell yeah.
What else? So we got the summonable bosses. There's also some loot that's getting switched around.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So,
wait, this is news to me.
Oh no?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, have you heard like Ahn'Qiraj? You know, the guy who drops HORDE.
Yeah.
Have you heard people talk about how in Phase 5, the Emperor, the final boss of BRD, is gonna. HORDE will no longer drop from the Ahn'Qiraj.
Oh
He's gonna drop off
God.
Ahn'Qiraj or Emperor.
Yeah.
God. Yeah. So things like that. So like HORDE is being switched to the last boss in BRD. The other trinket that he drops, Force of Will, is moving to Ahn'Qiraj's loot table. So like a lot of things are getting swapped around. So I encourage you to check. I know on WOWHEAD there's a list of all the like loot tables that are getting swapped.
Whoa.
The main dungeons for the changes are BRD, Stratholme, and I think there's a few in Blackrock Spire, and maybe Skolo too. So definitely check it out. HORDE is the big one, I know, because people farm Ahn'Qiraj for HORDE,
Yeah?
but now they're gonna have to go to the final boss to farm it.
Damn.
But people are saying that the drop rate is higher on the final boss, so maybe
God.
I guess that's the trade-off, right? We'll see what it's gonna be like. But yeah, there are loot tables that are getting switched around. What else? We're getting new spell books from the AQ20 bosses. So like any boss in AQ20 will drop ranks of new spells for you
Cool.
that you could learn. So example for like a priest, I think there's a Greater Heal book, so you'll be able to learn a higher rank of Greater Heal. I know there's a Renew book as well, because I played a priest in vanilla. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. If you're max level 60, you will be able to get new spell books for your class to learn a higher rank.
Nice.
In addition to that, we're getting a lot of new enchanting recipes, a lot of new blacksmithing recipes, and just crafting all around with Cenarian Circle and AQ and all that. So keep an eye out for the new recipes. Mana oils are coming. That's going to be sick. That's great for casters. It's like an oil that you apply to your weapon, and it can either do more spell damage or give you more mana, like mana per 5. So that's really cool.
Hell yeah.
And the only other thing I'm thinking right now is we're getting Librams, Idols, and Relics to the game, which you're playing a Shaman right now. I play Paladin. Very exciting. I also have a Druid, actually. So right now, like, we can't equip anything in our...
The trinket slot.
In our
I'm sorry,
the range slot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So finally, we're going to be... drops will now be available for us to equip those items. So that's exciting.
Yeah.
Look out for that in Phase 5. If you haven't already, like, check out what's best for your class and your spec. I know for me, for Paladin in Skolo is where I get like a Flash of Light Libram. So I will be going to Skolo probably on Tuesday to get that. Things like that.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Nice, big things next
I know,
week,
a lot of loot
Yeah.
coming out. And the final thing, this is the final thing, are the new tier sets that are coming out. So we got the Cenarian Circle AQ20 tier set. I guess you could call it a tier set. It's a 3-piece set that you can craft in AQ20. And then in AQ40, there's the tier 2.5 set, which is another set that you can craft. And the way you craft them is very similar to ZG in Zul'Gurub, where you like collect a token from the boss, and then a few other like scarabs and idols and all this stuff, and you complete a quest to get the set piece of gear, as opposed to like the actual set dropping directly from the boss.
Right.
And that's kind of like how they they took that concept and kind of continued doing that into the later expansions, right? With tier sets.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, like,
Yeah.
they did that in TBC, no? Well, actually, no. I mean, it was kind of a mix. Certain tier, like, the actual gear dropped, and then in other raid, in other raids, you got, like, a token that you had to turn in. What was it like in BFA? Well, there's no tiers in BFA, right? Did we have tier in BFA?
I didn't even pay attention in BFA. Like, let's be honest.
Or Legion, we had tier gear, didn't we? Yeah.
Wait, no, BFA has tier gear.
Yeah? Like tier
Yeah.
sets?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, where it's like it looks different per tier.
Yeah, it's like an armor set with bonuses.
Wait, no.
I thought they took that out of the game.
Wait, it ended up being like, I'm sorry. With
No, it's okay.
classic and retail knowledge, it blurs a little bit at some points. I think the tiers are like dungeon rankings. So if you have like...
Oh, I
You
know
know,
what you mean. Yeah,
Far, normal, heroic.
those are tiers too. Yeah.
Yeah, but like that's the tier.
I see. Yeah. You are correct. Yeah. Yeah. But so did you have to craft those gears, or did they just drop directly from... I can't remember, you know. I think it was a mix of both.
BFA was a shit show. I remember the opening day of BFA where they just like did this worldwide launch, and we were able to download and play right away, and we're doing our thing, and we're just so excited, and we're streaming it, and I will never forget how we're like going through the zones, and we both didn't want to say it at the time, but at the end of the stream we just kind of like genuinely talked about it, and we were both like, did that kind of like suck? Like, did that leveling just kind of suck? Like, are we both? Did you feel that? Yeah.
I know. I don't know. It's tough.
I know.
We'll see what happens with Shadowlands.
I do genuinely think Shadowlands is going to be better. Is it going to fix everything? Probably not. But I do think, like, I'll always say this, but I mean, I think the proof is in the pudding of the devs are listening, and
yeah,
I do
definitely.
think they definitely took a lot of BFA's criticism to heart.
Yes.
And they are growing and moving forward from there.
Hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah, I think they're definitely listening to feedback, and will the game like ever be truly fixed? You know, will everything ever? Is it possible to even make everybody happy?
No, absolutely not. No.
But I think, you know, Shadowlands has looked very promising, and a lot of people are very excited for it. So I'm an optimistic person. You know, I think they have a chance to kind of right what was wrong in BFA and take older elements of the game that did work and kind of apply that to Shadowlands. So we'll see what happens.
All right.
We'll see what happens. Fingers crossed. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much all of it, all the classic stuff. I did want to mention that there are a few pieces of nature resist gear that are craftable that are not going to be released on Tuesday. I just made a quick note of this: the Iron Vine set, the Bramblewood, and the Sylvan, and other nature resist gear is not going to be available on Tuesday because I guess that's like a little OP for AQ. What's so funny?
I'm sorry. Every time I look at your phone, your cracks are getting worse.
Yes, I have a cracked screen. Yes, I've been too distracted to go outside and replace my phone. Soon, I promise. Before the next episode, okay? I'll try to have a new phone.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry to expose you like that, but it was
No,
just
it's
like
okay.
every time I look away and I look back at your phone, I'm like,
I know. It doesn't bother me as much. I think I'm just used to it at this point. I know I've become one of those people. Like,
yeah.
I see people in the past with all these cracked phones, and I'm like, how could they just have a phone like that? Like, why don't they just get it replaced? And like now I have become that person.
You got the Spider-Man edition
Oh yeah.
of the phone, yeah.
Special edition, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay, well, we can move on to Shadowlands now then.
Hell yeah, dude.
So do you want to talk about Shadowlands a little bit?
Sure. Yeah, let's start off with, I know we're backtracking quite some time now, but beta is finally here. And I think they are rolling out invites more and more with each coming week. So please make sure you're signed up if you haven't already.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when there was this special event that we did partake in.
That we got our shirts in.
Yeah, that we got the shirts, which I love them. They got me. This shirt got me through such like a rough time. I legit wore this for 7 days straight. So you know they built this shirt with gamers in mind. Like,
I didn't even notice. Because I wear the same shirt every day too. Who are we trying to impress?
Yeah. Hell yeah. But during that event, we did get to do a run-through of a dungeon called the Theater of Pain, which I wanted to give my first impressions on just based on, you know, the area, the atmosphere, and the bosses. Yeah. So without further ado, let's just jump on into that. And you were part of the dungeon group, so you know you could also speak to this as well.
I was, yeah.
So let's go over the first boss and let's see if I can pronounce these. Like, one of my favorite things to do, like that'll just make me like so nervous, is just having my New York accent just let's talk about.
Let it go.
Just try to pronounce these these grandiose names. So the first boss was the
Affront? Affront of Challengers?
Affront of Challengers,
yeah.
Where, I mean, it basically was nothing to write home about. It was nothing new in terms of, it was just like a big bad with two smaller bads.
Yeah, I don't even remember it.
Yeah, I know. It was something really simple. They hit like a truck if you don't prioritize them.
Oh.
But it was this one main boss with two
ads?
Yeah, 2 ads.
Okay.
With them. Nothing out of the ordinary. It was just like a standard first boss.
Okay, yeah.
So, yeah, it just kind of got you introduced to the area of the dungeon.
What does the dungeon look like? Like, what is the theme of the dungeon, would you say?
Right.
There's a lot of, like, undead.
Yeah, and there was like a lot of subsections too, which just, you know, it just reminds you of like hell, you know?
Yeah, it definitely a lot of Naxxramas vibes, like with different wings, you know, how
Yes.
Nax has like, you know, the 4 different wings and whatnot. But
Right.
it kind of like reminded me of that with the undeads and like the, were there abominations and
Yes,
like...
yeah, there were kind of these grotesque creatures and
Yeah.
a lot of warriors, like undead warriors.
Yeah, yeah.
So when you walk into this fight, or when you walk into the dungeon and you get ready for the first fight, there are a bunch of just warriors around you. And I think they do kind of close off a certain point, so you can't go, you can't go back. I think they push you in.
Okay.
Yeah, once you like...
Once you're in, you're in?
Yeah, once you're in, you're in.
There's no backing out?
Yeah, exactly. Which, you know, like there's like this crowd watching you, which is pretty cool. But that was really all that was memorable about that fight was the warriors, I guess, surrounding you.
Oh, yeah, you had a limited space in which you could engage in the fight.
Right.
Yeah, they would push you back in. Yeah, that was cool. That was cool.
Yeah.
The next boss, Gore Chop. Was that the butcher one?
Yeah.
Okay, I died on that fight.
Yeah,
but
that fight I think has to be my favorite.
that was fun.
When you really think about it, it is nothing new.
Yeah, no new mechanics, nothing groundbreaking.
Yeah, but it's really, really cool. I like that it's kind of in this dark, dank, gross dungeon.
Naxxramas vibes.
Yeah, where I can't think of the word. It just, you know, honestly, I get Diablo vibes. Too.
Diablo, yeah, big Diablo vibes too.
Big Diablo vibes of it was just gross. A gross environment in the best way possible. I mean that in the best way possible, but there's a certain mechanic where a bunch of hooks just drop down from the ceiling and you have to avoid them matching the timing of the set of the hooks moving forward.
I did not.
If you do get hooked, you're out for a really long time and you do take like significant damage. I don't remember if it's initial significant damage or if it's damage over time or maybe both. I don't know. But still, altogether really, really cool. There were some ads leading up to that fight that just kind of did like this AoE, just gross,
like toxic gas and like disease clouds and things like that.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
Which was pretty cool. Next, moving on to, I think probably one of the most, is going to be one of the most anticipated boss battles of this dungeon, which was Zav. Is it Zav?
Yeah, Zav the Unfallen.
It sounds so New York. Zav the Unfallen, which had a really cool and unique mechanic of so you're fighting the main boss and there is...
Like up on a platform.
Yeah, on a platform. And then at one point he will pick 2 damage dealers and put them into, another subsection of the room.
Yeah, he ports them to another area.
Ports them to another room where you just have to deck it out and duel.
Yeah, you have to fight each other.
Yeah, which is really cool. The winner of that fight gets a buff. A damage buff. I forget the percentage.
Oh, okay.
While the loser does get a debuff in terms of damage percentage.
Oh, wow.
I think with the difficulty that we were able to do the dungeon on, I don't think anyone came back from that with damage. I could be wrong. There was just like so much going on at once.
Yeah.
So if you were the loser, I think you came back with either
like
all
a debuff,
or like, the majority of your health. You just had that damage debuff.
How long did you duel until? Was it until somebody reached a certain HP or was it a time limit?
So there is a time limit. I forget the time limit.
Okay.
But if you both fail to kill one another within the time limit, you will come back with a debuff.
Kill one another?
Yeah.
In 0 HP?
Yeah, I believe it's 0 HP.
Okay.
You have to get the other person down to 0.
Oh, wow.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but that was my first impression of it. You have to get the other person down to 0. But if you don't do that within the time limit, you both come back with that damage debuff.
Okay, so if you get your opponent down to 0, they don't die though.
Exactly.
After the duel, they get ported back.
Exactly. You all get ported back to the main arena. killing Zav.
Okay.
Now, I kind of tested this out, and while I do think that's a cool mechanic in theory, I think in practice, for the sake of, like heroic dungeons and really mythic keystones and whatnot for dungeons, I think that mechanic is going to get easily overlooked, because basically it'll choose you guys, the damage dealers, at random and then port you to this new arena. So there really is, once you're in that arena, there really is nothing except for a broad time limit that will force you to kill the other player. So seriously, when I was chosen to go into the arena, I just stood there.
Yeah.
I didn't attack.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are people gonna cheese it by not attacking?
Exactly.
So it would be cool if they had you guys auto attack or something, like you lost control of your character, like you were mind controlled,
right.
maybe.
There has to be.
That would be interesting.
There has to be another element of pressure added. That like if you just sit there and you don't attack, like maybe you lose. I don't know. There has to be something.
You could cheese that too, because if somebody wants to do more DPS, like
right.
be like, okay, you do more DPS than me, so I'll give you the buff and I'll take the debuff.
Right. So there really is none of that engagement, that initial engagement anymore that you could see the developers wanted of, okay, like I have to fight my best friend. I have to fight my friend right now to get either get a buff or a debuff.
Yeah, it's an interesting new concept though, and I like seeing that. I like seeing new things because, in a lot of times you'll see recycled mechanics. So that was kind of a new element that we hadn't seen before.
Yeah. So I'm excited for that. I really do think it has a lot of potential.
Yeah.
But I think as it is right now, there is not enough pressure to kill.
Your
teammate essentially for a
buff. I think it should be like an auto attack or something.
Yeah, there has to be something.
That was one of my favorite fights of the dungeon.
Yeah, it was the most memorable.
Yeah,
for sure. Oh geez, now after that, I think I could be getting this wrong. I'm just kind of going on memory right now. There was this element of as soon as you get out of that boss, there was a bunch of portals that you had to hop between. Yeah,
that was like a little confusing to me. We were just kind of like clicking these portals and being ported to different platforms, and we didn't really know where we were going.
Right. So you needed an orb to access the portal, and depending on which orb you took, either like the left one or the right one, it would take you a different way through the dungeon and to different sets of ads. So ultimately, you needed to maneuver your way through different portals to get to the next boss. Really cool. There was a point, though, where we were like, oh, I think we found a secret. Like, you could take orbs back through previous portals to, activate
use them for other portals?
Use that orb to go to, other portals.
I see.
So we were pretty excited. We were like, oh, is this a secret?
Yeah.
But, ultimately nothing came from it.
Yeah.
Which was upsetting, but I don't know if there's anything that they could add there, or even just take out that feature of bringing back orbs.
It was beta. It's alpha beta, so.
Yeah. I don't know. It had a lot of potential.
Yeah.
The next boss, which was
Ahn'Qiraj.
Ahn'Qiraj. Thank you. Ahn'Qiraj really was kind of confusing.
I don't remember this one either.
Kind of not super clear what we had to do. This was the boss that had it had ghosts following you, and then it also had hands coming up from the ground, in tiny little circles.
Didn't we barely killed it?
So yeah.
I think were you and Corey the only ones alive?
Yeah, and we were trying to figure out the mechanic as we were going.
Yeah.
But we couldn't figure out if there was about to be this big wave of damage if we were supposed to stand in the tiny circle or not stand in the circle.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's still kind of unclear. I don't know if anyone understands that or if you could describe it further, but that was probably the most confusing fight.
Yeah, still figuring out mechanics because we don't know, and we don't have our spell book either that tells us like, hey, phase 1, phase 2, here's what you do.
Right.
So.
And then the last boss,
Mordretha. The Endless Empress.
Hell yeah.
So we struggled on her for a bit. She this is what I remember. She felt more difficult than the other bosses. So
she hit hard.
We weren't sure if like maybe she was tuned differently. And we did this under normal, right? Normal difficulty.
So. I think that was the only one available.
But she definitely felt like a big step up in difficulty for Mordretha.
Not only that, there was this. Oh, I forget what it's called. There's this frontal cone attack that she does. It's darkness something. I'm sorry, I always forget the names. There was this frontal cone attack that had a short time charge time, but then launched at whoever she was targeted on. It seemed like this was a glitch, but it would just it would just kind of bounce between different party members. So it wouldn't lock on the person who had the most threat. There would be a moment where this frontal cone damage was, blasting full speed ahead, but then all of a sudden it would swap to just a random party member, just kind of sweep and focus on a random party member. So that seemed like it was a little bit unfinished.
Yeah, there may have been like elements to it that, because it was so challenging for us, it could have been still a work in progress, which probably is.
Right, and it wasn't like a gradual sweep as some previous bosses have in their mechanics. No, this was like a click lock on, so that seemed a little unfinished. But then there were like a lot of cool elements. I really liked the ghost hands. There was a portal that opens up at some point, and it starts pulling you into the portal.
Yeah,
with,
like other
hands.
mechanics you've seen where like you gotta run away.
Right.
Obviously you're being pulled in one direction.
Yeah.
So there were some recycled mechanics in there, but still fun and new, of course.
The ads that spawned were pretty tough. I mean, I heard it gets a little bit easier when you have certain Covenant abilities.
Oh, okay.
Just because of the damage output that the Covenant abilities give you.
Okay, that makes sense.
Would help in that situation, but it's still the ads had a lot of HP and they hurt like hell, dude. So we struggled on that boss. I think like what was it, our 4th attempt that we finally got?
Yeah, I think more than that.
Really?
Maybe 5 or 6.
Wow. So this one.
Yeah, we did get it eventually.
This one took a while. Yeah.
Yeah. But overall, like the Theater of Pain was really cool. I really liked, again, the design, and that's always big for me, the design, the art aspect of it.
Right.
Really liked that. Like I said, it reminded me of Naxxramas a lot with the different wings and like the undead. There were other dungeons too that we had mentioned at the time that it reminded us of.
Oh, right.
That I can't
totally forget.
Remember at the current moment. But
yeah, I forget.
I mean, if you guys look up images of this instance, you'll form your own opinions, and you could even let us know what it reminds you of too. Definitely nods to like past content, which I always appreciate. It also had like an eerie. Weren't there eerie sounds in there as well? Like, didn't you hear screaming, or was that when
I heard a lot of screaming.
That was when we did the VENTHYR Covenant starting zone, right?
Yes. Okay. Yes. That was where I just.
Because the next day, Theater of Pain we're done with. Theater of Pain's over. The next day, we made new characters in the VENTHYR Covenant because that was a new template that we were able to complete. So we made these 2 characters, and we were kind of just like going through the motions of the starting zone and checking it out, and like, it was really creepy, and like, you kept hearing screams.
I kept hearing like children scream, and that was very unsettling. And very not unsettling. Needed, but appreciated.
I liked it. I like it. It adds to like the creepiness and the horror aspect of it. And just like the design of that entire zone is just gorgeous. Especially if you're into like that gothic, like old school horror, like Dracula-esque.
Vampiric. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Just that whole VENTHYR starting area is just really beautiful to look at in terms of like, not a nod and appreciation to that art style. And as for doing that starting area with the VENTHYR Covenant that we did, I mean, nothing felt really new to me per se, besides like where we were. And some of our abilities were different, but like it was pretty much what's to be expected in like, you know, a WoW starting zone. Like you meet all the NPCs, you get used to the systems, and then you just go out and do like quests and dailies and like things like that.
Go here, kill this. Go there, kill that and get this.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, that's the staple to WoW.
One of my favorite quests was, and I failed this quest, but you completed it.
Oh yeah.
What did we get? We get transformed into like an imp or something, or like a gargoyle.
Yeah, I think you did. I think it was a disguise, technically.
It was a disguise. Yeah. You were like a mini gargoyle, and you had to like fly above the zone and like deliver a note. And like how did I mess it up? I think I
don't think you activated the disguise when you were supposed to.
Yeah, I don't know. Something went wrong, but that was it. I like how that's my favorite quest, and I messed it up. But that was still cool. Like I thought it was like. It was a cute little fly guy.
Yeah, my favorite part of that was just jumping off of like a really, really high ledge and then just gradually falling and just seeing your like tiny little imp character go like wee.
Yeah, and the wings, you know, keeping you afloat.
Yeah.
That was cool, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, the typical like stuff that reminded me of BFA, like, you know, there's like, as you're questing through the area, you could enter, what are they called? Like optional quests or like extra quests? Bonus objectives.
Yeah,
there were bonus objectives. There's treasure chests, of course, which we always try to collect, those nice chests. We saw some rares. You know, nothing like standard stuff, you know?
Standard staple to WoW.
Yeah.
Which looked great. There's definitely a darker vibe, a darker element to this expansion, which is like edgy, and I think after an expansion like BFA, I think something like that is definitely needed. So yeah, I'm just excited.
Yeah.
Please, like I feel like every day they're coming out with new looks to weapons, to armor, to pets, and to mounts. So as much as I would love to just go one by one, like please like look up those yourselves, like go to WOWHEAD, but there is one that I absolutely fell in love with, and that is Jellycat.
Now, that's so funny you bring this up, because I've been seeing Jellycat references on Twitter for the past few days, and I'm like, what is this? I don't, is this like a reference to Phoebe and Friends? Smelly Cat?
Oh yeah, Jellycat.
Like I thought it was some kind of meme related to that. I didn't know where it was from.
No,
So-
I think this past week just kind of was...
Like data mining?
Yeah, data mining,
Yeah.
thank you. Data mined from Shadowlands and posted on WOWHEAD. It was just this Jellycat. No rhyme or reason, it was just Jellycat. And
Look it up yourselves.
yeah.
Yeah.
List of pets, you know, that got data mined.
Oh, so it's a pet or a mount? Or?
I think it's a pet. I think it's gonna be a pet.
Okay.
Which I will say this, I think Jellycat is gonna be very, very big.
I think so too.
And if there is not a plushie version of Jellycat, I will shit.
She'll be very upset if
I
there's
will
no
be
Jellycat plushie.
So upset.
Like-
Jellycat's gonna be big, dude.
I know.
I'm calling it.
I know. We always have great merch ideas.
Oh my
right?
god, we do. Just who do I have to call?
Like, come on, Jellycat. Like,
Jellycat's gonna be big.
You could do like a charity Jellycat too, or like half the proceeds go to a charity. Like, easy.
Boom.
It'll get sold out.
Jellycat.
Jellycat.
Get ready.
Get ready for Jellycat.
Gonna be big. But yeah, other than that, that's kind of really it. I hope I could do more beta, especially as my job calms down a little bit. I hope to live in the World of Warcraft beta of Shadowlands just a little bit more.
Awesome.
But yeah, that's it.
Cool. Yeah, that's about a wrap for this episode. We covered all the topics that we wanted to talk about. So I appreciate you guys sticking around and hanging out for the episode. As always, we are proudly part of the Warcraft Radio team. So don't forget to go to warcraftradio.com/shows, and you can view all of the awesome and amazing shows and podcasts that are part of Warcraft Radio. But big shout out to Warcraft Radio. They also were a major part of us getting the beta access and these awesome t-shirts.
Hell yeah, big shout out to them. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And we also have our Patreon, patreon.com/Warcraft Brew, where you can help contribute to help offset some of the costs of keeping this show active and going. Our next big thing is purchasing another light, because we've been having some lighting issues.
With the green screen, yeah.
With the green screen.
Though I do have high hopes for this one.
I hope so, yeah. She bought more clamps for the green screen for this one, so we'll see.
Yeah, we stretched it.
Yes. Ooh. But yeah, we do need another light though, so things like that. All the Patreon funds do help contribute to items to improving the quality of this show. So we really appreciate all of our patrons. What else? Don't forget to follow us on all of our socials. I'm Quissy TV on Twitch and Twitter.
And I'm the Pasta Face on Twitch and Twitter as well.
That's right. And if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I am so close to 20,000 subs. It's about like 100 subs away. So hitting that milestone would be pretty cool. So if you haven't already, please hit the sub button on YouTube. Spread the word, tell your friends about us. Hell yeah. Anything else? I mean, have we left anything out? I think that's it.
That's it, yeah.
What were we drinking today? We didn't go over that.
Oh yeah, and I just want to apologize in advance. You put this lovely garnish of mint on top, but mint is also green.
Yep.
As is our green screen in the back right here. So there very well may be some keying out in our cups, which I'm really excited to see.
Yeah, I'm sure there undoubtedly will be some interesting green screen effects with the mint in our drinks. But yeah, I just made like a plain seltzer, shot of vodka, fresh mint, and fresh lime. Mixed it all together. It's some ice cubes.
Hell yeah.
Very nice.
I
refreshing.
Do think, like, you opened my eyes recently to just vodka and seltzer. Like, that is sleeper OP.
It really is, yeah. It's nice and
so
light. Good for the summer too. Really refreshing.
Hell
cool.
Yeah.
So
Hell yeah.
low carb, low calories. All right, guys. I guess that's a wrap for today. So thank you again for tuning in. Don't forget to follow us again on all our socials. Check out Warcraft Radio, check out our Patreon, join our guild chill on Azure Song, and we'll see you next time. Have a great day, enjoy the rest of your week, and have fun with the AQ opening. Let's see what that's going to be about, right?
Hell yeah.
Bye-bye.